Alright fam, we're going to start this as a second video. It's right after the first one that we just did. And so we're going to go into what our system is out here at the yard, how it works for our interchange, and give you an example, show you how we look up the 73 Roadrunner parts we're looking for. And then once we get this stuff looked up, we're going to go out into the yard and we're going to go to the cars and we're going to see what parts are there, and we're going to do a parts locator, parts check that we have to do on cars that are not inventoried. Only probably 15-20% of our yard is actually fully inventoried. Most of the older stuff is not, and that's why we have to have website requests and people call in for the parts they need, or request the parts, and then we have to go look for them and see if we do have them. Because one, there's no way we could have all the parts out here inventoried, and two, a lot of the older stuff we don't have in inventory. We're working on it, but it's a slow process because we're still getting cars in every day. So we're going to walk through how the system works and how we find and know what we have. And then from there, we'll go out in the yard and see if we got it. So here we go. All right, fam. We're going to look up these parts for the 73 Roadrunner. And basically what we do is, this is my car part screen. I don't do anything over here in the the quotes, the work orders, invoices, or purchase orders, because, well, I don't do a lot of day-to-day stuff. So other salespeople and everything else, they have stuff that populates over here. Basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to go over here to vehicle part and vehicle search. We're going to type in 1973, and then we're going to go down here to Roadrunner. Okay. And then we're going to look for a lower control arm. And I can either do that, or I can use the abbreviations or the numbers for it. But we'll do lower control arm front. We're going to look for a spindle. And we're going to look for front brakes, which is actually a rotor. But that's what our system calls it. That should pretty much cover it. I don't know if I can do a torsion bar. Yeah, you should be able to do a torsion bar. And then that should be it. It's OEM stuff, so if I look up wheels, it's going to be like the exact wheels that were on a 1973 Roadrunner, and it doesn't really matter. We just need something to roll, so I'll just round them up separate. So we get everything we need in here. We hit find, and it will bring up our interchange screen. And so we need to select exactly what it is. And so it's going to be right-hand side on the Roadrunner for the lower control arm. You can see what we're looking for here. We got a spindle or a knuckle, depending on the application. Ours is a spindle, and it's going to be a Roadrunner. It's going to be right hand. You'll notice that the numbers are the same between Roadrunner and Satellite, and they just put it in there so you can look it up by model, even though sometimes it matters. Most of the time it doesn't. Front brake drum rotor. It's the rotor on this one. We're going to go with Roadrunner. Looks like we have 2 on hand right here. You can see quality or quantity on hand right here. That's the numbers we have on hand. There's our pricing for it. And we had, or globally, Copart had 18 requests, I think, in the last 12 months, I think is how that works. So, I mean, there's some people looking for it, but not that many. There's definitely been more requests, 98 requests for spindle knuckles. I think this is, it could be in a month. I don't know what the time frame is. I bet it's a year. I don't know, maybe not. And then torsion bar, we're going to go right hand on a Roadrunner. So we got all 3 of them checked, or 4 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them. But we can look at the interchange from here. So we highlight it, and we hit app. And then on the screen here, it tells us what it fits. This fits quite a bit of stuff. Fifth Avenues, Magnums, Newports, Cordobas, Dodge full sizes, like Coronets, Monacos, stuff like that. Chargers, St. Regis, New Yorker rear-wheel drive, Plymouth Satellites, Plymouth full sizes like Grand Furies, and Furies, not Grand Furies. And it does fit Grand Fury 8081. So that's what it fits. And we go down here to the spindle. We look on application on it. It fits everything in the other list plus some more. There's Aspens in there, which is like an A-body. So the spindle will fit that as well, along with a handful other vehicles, Velaris, Caravels, all the way up to like even 86. So that's good information to have. The rotor on it. It fits basically everything that the spindle fit, but it also fits Barracuda and Challengers, and some darts as well, and Diplomats, stuff like that. So it fits even more stuff. Let's see what the torsion bar fits. It fits basically everything the lower control arm fits, which seems pretty good. So we want to go to the shortest list that encompasses all of it. So I think we're going to use this list right here, or the lower control arm list, to see what we have for cars in the yard that we can go out and look at, because we don't have the older stuff. Not a lot of the older stuff's inventoried. We're working on that. So what we're going to do is we can just do a non-interchange here and see what brings up. Sometimes it'll bring stuff up, sometimes it doesn't. Didn't really bring a whole lot up. That's a rotor that's off in our inventory. So we do have a rotor that's already off if we want to. Not that it really matters. We have another one off here on this dart that fits, but it doesn't. The lower control arm isn't the same, and the spindle is the same, but the lower control arm's not, and the torsion bar's not. So we'd have to get off, stuff off a couple cars if we're going to do it that way. So I'd rather not. I'd rather find everything on one car if we can, and then we'll go down the road of piecing it together if we have to. So what we're going to do is we're going to look up, and I have an idea of what I have in the yard, but we'll go down that list. But I have an idea what we have, and so I know we have a charger out there and a satellite out there in them year range. So we'll look them up. Let's see here. And it was like 73 to 75 or 4 or something charger. But we're going to look up a 900, which is a complete vehicle that we have in the yard. It's not necessarily like complete vehicle, but it's the fact that it is the vehicle, no matter how many parts are on it, is how it works out. So we go to year range, we go 73 to, we'll do like 78, just because it's a thing. And so we have a 73 Charger, and it happens to be the yellow one that was sitting next to it. I don't remember if this had front suspension on it at all. It doesn't look like it's got driver's side. I don't know if it had passenger side. It could have passenger side front suspension. We will have to go out and look at that. So what I do is I hit pick slip here, and I do print pick slip, and I write the comment, right hand front suspension, and I hit accept. This note's for me, so it doesn't matter if it's spelled right or anything, honestly, because I'm going to be doing the check myself. But if I had one of my guys doing it, I need to put as much description in there as I need for what we're doing, along with an interchange sheet, so they know what they're looking for and what interchanges. So we've got that down. I know we got satellite, and so we'll look that up as well. And so we'll do year range, we'll 73 to 78, even though I know that's not going to be possible. It encompasses the years I want to do. So we have our Roadrunner here that we're selling, and then we have a green satellite. And I don't have any good pictures of the green satellite, because it looks like that somebody took engine pictures on the vehicle pictures. And it looks like it had a small block in it, or has a small block in it. So I'll have to go out and we'll have to check that one. So basically I think that's about it for that one, and we will have to go out and look at it. So here we go. All right, we made it to the first one, and we're going to see what it is and go from there. It is a 74 satellite, and we'll see if we got the parts on there we need. All right, 160736 is the right one. It does have right front suspension under it, exactly what we're looking for. The car's been parted down some. I mean, not as far as the 72. This is a 74 satellite. But it looks like everything we need's there. It's got a small block in it. So that was easy. We found the parts we need. Now we got them on a check. We've done the check. So now we're gonna go up to the shop and I'll show you what we do from here. Well, the crazy part about driving this truck around is there's no cab bolts, like bolting the cab down in it. So it doesn't move around too bad, but we really need to do that before we drive this around too much. All right, guys, we made it up front here. It's after hours, so you know there's nobody around here but me. But we did the check on the parts for the Roadrunner. I got the sheet here for the Roadrunner, and I'm gonna write down what parts we need off this car, and then I'll put it in the bin or the pulls list. So we'll do that. And I think that's pretty much it on that, and that'll get this thing rolling. I'm not going to worry about the lug nuts. I got a bunch of lug nuts in the back, so it's not too big a deal on that. I'll put a note on here. It's 472. All right, I'm going to put it, these installed on the 72 Roadrunner. And so we're going to go over here to our pulls list over here. And so this is pulls list. This is our check stuff that needs to be checked. This is stuff that's ordering in back over here. And then this is stuff that's ready. And that's some of the cutting stuff. So let me put this in that one. We got an open slot. And that's the orders we got lined up for Monday. And when you get moving on Monday, I guess we could run around and do some of the checks. Looks like a dipstick for an 03 Dodge. That shouldn't be too crazy. Let's see here. 96 Nissan pickup steering column. Front axle carrier for an 06 or an 08 Silverado. And a C-Bring spindle knuckle, and that's kind of a few of them. So I don't know, a few checks, and then a bunch of pulls from transmissions, transfer cases, that sort of stuff. So that's the process on how we find stuff when we don't have it in our inventory. We look it up, we figure out if we have the vehicles that it fits. If we do have the vehicles that fits, then we go and run out and see what we have on them. And you know, we have quite a bit of stuff in inventory, but we still have some checks. Like I said, there's 5 more up there. So that shows that process. I don't know if we'll show the process of taking it off, maybe putting it on, we'll see. If there's something better, I'll bring it in, but the rest of the stuff's just normal mechanic work outside that process. So I guess that ends this video, and until the next one, thanks for watching.